Yeah, thank you for coming for the photo sharing, Kuala Mu photo sharing.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have Choy this afternoon. He is going to share with us also on how not only taking images, not only taking nice images, but to what you call to create a photo storyline. You know, whatever we do, like a photo essay. Before we even go out to shoot, we must have a story to go back, you know. And I want to bring this time, give this time to Choy for him to share with us. So in future, when we go out to shoot, we must have a storyline. That's what Choy is going to bring us through. Okay, I pass the time to Choy now.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think from today's images that I've seen, all of you are very good in composition already. So I feel that there shouldn't be a question in asking what sort of composition, how to look at things and all that. All of you have got the compositional skill, right? But it's just a matter of some direction that we want to practice. Now, I was telling Gau just now earlier, the video clip that Naturegraphers have done, they are very good storyboard actually. It's already done already, but unknowingly, you all do not know about that, you see now. So I just like to enhance anything that we do. We should not do blindly. Go out with an objective, and a storyboard is a very good tool for us to do compositions and at the same time to discipline us. Now, always remember when we shoot, take our time, slow down, meditate, embrace the environment. Because very often we go out, the first thing that we start taking our camera and shoot is actually our eyes. Remember, we are given the 5 senses, you see now. Use all the 5 senses, culminate the 5 senses into our mind. That's our 6 senses, you know. That is composition, right? We all have that, and you have proven beyond doubt that you all have it, you see. Now, this series that I'm doing is basically to enhance 2 key things, you see, photo essay, and the other 2 keywords is mindfulness and consciousness. Whatever we do, be mindful of what you are taking. Composition, shoot. Consciousness that you are there, you want to create forms. Forms is all basically about lighting. Lighting to us is very important. That's the reason why in my brief, location is not the essence, you know. It is just good that we have the location for us to take. But if the location has, let's say we want to take a boat, but if the light is not on the boat, the light is on the table, would you take the table or the boat, is it? Light creates form. That's very important in photography, is it? Just like birding, the same thing. People say that, oh, backlit you cannot shoot a bird. Depends on your intent, you know. Your intent and your output is very important again. So these are technical things which I do not touch now. I just brief you all how I walk through my outings every time, you know. First thing, photo essay. So what I do is, in a photo essay, I have 2 key images, you know. The first image and the last image. These are the 2 key images. It's an introspection of composition, you see. This is in line with the caption, the break of dawn. And this with the caption of benevolence. This reflects on the Kampung Mu, the people there. And this, you put it together, it is a composition, you know. It is a set. This is how I do. I always have the first and the last image, you see, for my composition. Then the rest is just a visual narrative to tell you about the storyline. What is Kuala Mu actually? Kuala Mu is all about a lot of this, you see. Bring back nature to our city folks that they have not seen for years. They don't know what Kuala Mu is, you see. This is how I tell my family. I say, Kuala Mu, this is it. But I missed something out, you see, actually on that day. The back house, the toilet facilities, you see. And thanks to Alex, you know. Because before, when I sign up, immediately call me, you know, hey, Choy, I have to forewarn you, you know. I said, okay, tell me. Just say, you know, all those things, and one of the things was the toilet, yes. Okay, fine. But that was an adventure. And I forgot about that toilet because it's part of the hospitality of Kuala Mu, you know. That is the attachment of Kuala Mu. So I failed in that process. That means I'm not disciplined enough. I used to do a storyboard by doing a scrapbook. I take notes, I do sketches, you see now. But eventually I went out of it because it's already in the mind. Consciousness and mindfulness, you see now. So this is how I look at Kuala Mu. Again, I think Alan is your picture, right? Earlier you mentioned about the yes, you see. But I have to put two pictures together. This to give you an overall picture of just a hut. This is to create the hospitality that Kuala Mu people has accorded to us that we must respect, you see now. These are the two key images. Then we have this. When we go there as city folks, you see, we must have a playground also. And this is our playground, you see. So it is a mix of nature and man-made, you see. We no person down there. So I want to leave out the imagination, you see, to the viewer, to imagine what it is from my emotions. There are two words again, emotions and imagination. That comes out to be a picture. Right? So this is it, man-made and nature. And we have a water here, you see. So I captured it as therapy. Next, introspection, you see. We are walking along the way to with Alex to the waterfall. How am I going to interpret the vegetation of Kuala Mu, you know? And one of them is we are in the forest. That's the best. On the artistic side, I use a backlit, no flash, it's all natural light, you see now. With the foreground is this, the rest all dark. Then another one is I was quite captivated this is inherited heritage, you see now. Rubber tree, but it could be their cash crop. This is how I interpret their lifestyle in Kuala Mu. This could be their cash crop. They make money of it, and of course, within the environment, we have the water. But water itself, I don't want to create a big picture of the water. I want to make it concise, so that I want to draw your attention into water, the dynamics and the form of water. So the technique, we don't have to go to details, which Ling has mentioned sometimes. So yes, shutter speed, exposure, everything is very important. Then the next is neighbors. Under neighbors, we have all these. Children are playing. This is a children's playground. Likewise, if you are talking about technique, this picture will be thrown out. You see, because people will tell you never put something right at the center because it is very, very intimidating. You see, break the rules. We learn the rules, we break the rules with intention, you see now. So this is why I intentionally put the tree right at the center to draw your attention in. This again, it becomes my stopper to you, but I will dilute it with the rest. It's very simple here. All right. Then again, the child going up there, and the way they keep the clothes, they hang the clothes to dry. And these are the architecture, you see. These are the architecture. This is the wall, these are the doors, and this is the attic. Now attic today is not easy to find anymore. Most of the Malay houses added is all galvanized sheets, asbestos and all that. This is still man-made. This is a craft, you see now. Which the orang asli, they still practice crafting. And the last is actually benevolence, you see now. Home. From hospitality, they have a good home, you see, benevolence. So this is the storyline or the storyboard of my outing at Kuala Mu, and appreciation goes to M&S Photo Group. Without this outing, I can't come up with this. And Kuala Mu is my first experience, thanks to Alex also. Apparently, one picture shot from Kuala Mu. That's all. Because to me, that is an adventure. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I forgot to. One last thing I have to tell you all is, share with you all is the cropping. This is all 4-5 crop. I use a 4-5 crop, but cropping is very important. The way you crop the pictures, it resonates with you differently. This is the same crop. This is 16:9. This is a square crop. So again, don't forget about your cropping. This crop is from in camera. I did not do any post cropping crop. In camera, I crop this way. Then from there, I will do a 16:9 or a square or 4-5. It's up to you already. That becomes your narrative, the visual or intellectual. You choose. And of course, under installation, it's a sequencing and the placement again, which we will talk some other time. This is a storyboard, a brief storyboard. Think about it. Next time you go outing, you may want to have it the same.
Yeah, Choy, one more thing I want to ask. Especially this image.
Yeah.
I understand you use a handphone to shoot. And you know what Sui Ping just now mentioned that she used what you call hers is not actually a simple camera. Hers one is actually what you call the bridge over camera. It's actually bridge camera. Bridge camera is actually a very advanced style camera. As you know, she's so humble and just mentioned that she's having a bridge camera. Indeed, it's okay because the first camera in the world is actually a pinhole camera, have no lens. It's not to say interchangeable lens or whatever. That it don't even have a lens. It's just a pinhole, and it started photography like that, you know. And obviously, Choy did mention to me this is done by a handphone, and you can see the toner range is quite nice, or very nice. I want to ask him more about the capability of a handphone. For those who are actually using handphone, don't be intimidated by it, because the next session I'm going to share is post-processing, and how I want to ask Choy how he do post-processing on this. Can you maybe share a little?
As I mentioned I think earlier, I'm a very lazy idiot. I hate doing post-processing, but I do it right the first time. That is my workflow. So to me, exposure is very important to me, and I do exposure for the paper. So when I do the exposure for paper, I have all the ingredients that I want to retrieve when I go into my Lightroom. I don't spend much time on Lightroom. I'm only using the basic panel. So once I go to Lightroom, yes, I know what are the channels I want to touch on, because all the information is there. It's very important to know. Now this is actually taken by, this handphone is already 4-5 years old, I think. I use this. I look at the light. Where's the light from? What is my intent, my creative intent? What is my visual narrative? Is there any intellectual narratives for me to consider? Yes, then I will shoot it. Then whether I want to put it into monochrome or black and white or sepia or selenium is up to me, because there's more towards intellectual, towards the photo essay. So yes, I can print up to A3 this one. there's no problem. So even if you are doing publications and all that, books and all that, like your photo books, handphone is very, very handy. There are certain access a camera can never get in, and you don't have the time to take your camera and shoot. I shot a lot. Even my handphone, I use it for exhibitions sometimes. But I must have the intellectual information inside there. Yeah. And I was telling Sweeping just now, Lumix was one of my first cameras in digital. Yeah, it's good enough. This handphone, yeah.
So sharp also.
Yeah. So, another thing about handphone is even digital cameras, because I'm from analog last time, I was from a dark room. So when I look at the image, am I going to resonate as digital or dark room? See, so digital is very contrasty. Remember, contrast and luminosity is different, which I put in the brief. You must have luminosity to create contrast. Once you have these two, then you create textures, you create structures. If you are doing colors, you must have the appropriate colors, and that is the whole composition of a photograph. You start creating it, you see. You create during exposure, you make during post-processing. This is my workflow, and yes, this picture, I reduce the clarity because I want to create the softness of an analog print. Number two, I will put in noise. Digital noise and analog noise is different, really. Grains, see? So I put in grains, but that depends on what sort of grains am I incorporating. The intensity of the grains will actually create the tonal range and the form of the image, you see. This, when I come to creating what we call grains, it takes a bit of time because I need to blow it up. I need to look at it from far and all that to make the adjustments, because this is very important in creating forms. So I have actually a picture, but I think I must have forgotten, with and without the grains, you know. And the intensity of grains you put in is different again. But this is under technique which I feel that we don't need to work.
Maybe another session.
Yeah, you know.
Share,
Because it changes the mood.
Yes, you use the word the mood. Some people say, hey, the mood, what is mood? When you don't have technique. Mood is emotions. Technique is what? Imagination. Without these two keywords, emotions and imagination, you cannot create your creative intent, you know. That's very important. Yes, I want to create a mood. Okay. I'm not sure whether I have it here. I don't have it here, any sorry about this. But that's it.
Maybe we leave it to the next sharing session. Yeah. But there will be many more to come, Choy. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you for your ears. Thank you for your time and the patience. Yeah.
Thank you.